So it's May, and welcome to our first class of May. It was a really lovely weekend. Some temperatures in the high teens where I am, probably where most of you are too, at least you who are here with me live. And it was so nice to see a bit of sunshine today, so lovely. Or over the weekend. It's not so sunny today, but it inspired me to work with another one of the themes from the Yoga Sutras, which is light. And there's a few things that the Yoga Sutra says about light. And one of the things it says from the first chapter, Vishoka va Jyotishmati. And it comes in this section of the sutras that asks us to consider what things help us to feel better, what things help us to feel more grounded, feel more in tune with ourselves. And Patanjali suggests that light, meditating on light, can be helpful. In the second chapter, what he says about light is basically when we do breath practices, and that could include the asana practices that we do because we're always coordinating with the breath. When we do those practices, it's like the curtains open on our inner light, and our inner light shines forth. So it's easy to kind of get stuck in our own rumination and challenges and forget that we are light. And today I'm going to work with a little bit of a short chant that comes from a much longer chant. And the words are Jyotir Aham. And basically it means I am light. So it's a reminder of who we truly are when we peel back the layers of our our stress and our dukkha, which is suffering, which is contraction. When we kind of peel back some of that through the practices that we do to help us be more present, our inner light shines forth. So that's our practice today. We're going to work with some gentle heart opening practices, back bends a little bit to help us to access some of that inner light. So it's not like we don't have light and we bring it in. We have light. It's just a matter of uncovering it. So we're going to start seated, as I mentioned. So on your chair or on the floor or on your couch or the side of your bed or wherever it is that works for you to be comfortable. So let's start by taking a few breaths, and you can close your eyes if that's helpful for you. And start to feel the movement of your breath. There's no need to change the breath in any way, alter it in any way. You're just noticing your breath as it is. Notice and tune into how your body feels this morning. Are there points of tension or holding, that constriction or dukkha that we're all so familiar with? And simply noticing, so we're not trying to change anything, we're just noticing where's there tension in the body, where does the body feel free? Maybe notice the thoughts that are passing through your mind. Again, it's not about trying to change or control anything, but tuning in, checking in, and noticing what's present, what's true. So I notice I just cut out a bit and came back, and I hope you're still with me. Get my all right. So the fun of teaching from home is that I have to be the technician and the teacher. So I think I've got it so that you can hear me again. Yeah, okay. So if you remember from the first week, if you joined us, there was this gesture where we brought the hands forward like a little bowl in front. And the idea is that the name Patanjali, who's the author of the Yoga Sutras, Pat means to fall, and Anjali is this mudra, this symbol, this gesture. And so if you take a moment and within your hands, imagine a light, any kind of light. It could be the light of the sun or the moon or a campfire or a candle. Just take a moment to imagine this light sitting like a little symbol in the palms of your hands. And then you're going to invite this light into your body, into your life, by taking your hands, just bringing it over your head as if you're showering that light all the way down to your feet. And then filling your cup again with light by bringing the hands in front and bringing the hands over the body, sweeping down to the ground. So as you do this, I will share this chant with you that I mentioned. So it means I am light. Jyotiraham. Continue with this gesture. So you're filling up your cup with light. Jyotiraham. 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 One more time. Jyotiraham. And then bringing the hands back in front and filling your bowl with light, filling your hands with light. And then let's bring the hands to the heart and take a few breaths here. And we're going to do a little bit of a different breath technique today. So often we've been focusing on the exhale, which is very calming. And if you're feeling a little bit ramped up today or feeling anxious, you might just focus on a longer exhale. And if you feel good today and you're looking for a little more energy, you might breathe that light in. Pause for a second, holding the light. And then exhale, letting go of whatever tension, holding you may be aware of. So you're breathing in the light, hold for a second. Exhale, let go. Whatever tension or holding you may be aware of. A couple more breaths like that. You never want to feel like you're hyperventilating or getting dizzy with the breath. If that's the case, you just stop and breathe normally or even hold your breath for a moment. A couple more breaths here. Filling yourself with light. Exhale, releasing tension, holding. Right, and then let's take the arms wide, elbows bent. Keep the elbows low, lower than the shoulders. Breathing in as you exhale. Give yourself a hug. Bring your hands to opposite shoulders. You can bring the head down and take a couple of breaths here, feeling perhaps that the breath could fill the space in the back of the heart. And then when you're ready, you can open again with a breath in And again, as you exhale, you might cross the arms the other way, giving yourself a hug, letting the head come down, relax the back of the neck. Take a few breaths here as if you could breathe into the back of your heart. Right, and then taking the arms to the sides, and we'll open the arms wide, spread the fingers wide, and rotate the arms so the palms turn up, externally rotating the arms, and then internally rotating the shoulders forward, opening. Do a few more like that. And then turning the palms up so there's a little bit of external rotation in the shoulder, but keep the arms relaxed and circle the wrists. You can do this with your hands open or try with fists to see how that changes things. Keep breathing. And then give your arms a shake. Right, and we'll bring the arms down to rest on the thighs or the knees. And we'll do a little bit of movement for the spine. So lifting the chest, drawing the shoulders back, and then rounding the back, drawing the shoulders forward, letting the head come down. So you can breathe in as you lift the heart, exhale as you round the back and open the back of the heart. Do a few more like that. Great. And then come back to a neutral spine. Take the arms beside you. If you're sitting on the ground, your fingertips may come to the ground, or arms just out to the side if you're sitting on a chair. And as if you're gathering light, reaching out with the arms, bringing the palms together overhead, and as if you're drawing that light again down towards the body, and then releasing the hands. Again, inhale, lift. As you exhale, drawing the hands down as if you're inviting that light into your being. And if you don't feel so light today, perhaps compassion is what you need more than light. So finding compassion. Some days it's hard to connect with the light if we're feeling dark or depressed. And forcing it can sometimes make it even more difficult to connect with. So just finding compassion if that's what you need today, and bringing the arms down to your side so they could rest on your legs if you like, or on the ground, or just hang down. Roll the shoulders a few times. And if you're sitting on the floor and you need to stretch your legs out to wake them up, feel free. If you need to adjust or move positions, please do. Right, and then just letting the arms rest comfortably so shoulders are down away from the ears. We'll do a little movement for the head. So you can turn your head to one side and then make a little half circle coming across your chest to the other side, and then going down and across, and going side to side a few times like that. You might make a full circle as long as that feels okay with you. When you do that, you want to be careful not to let your head fall back behind you. So you're making most of the circle in front of you. And you can switch directions at some point if you like. You might hear some creaking like I'm hearing in my neck. I don't imagine the microphone is picking it up, but it sure sounds loud from here. And eventually coming back to the center. We'll do a little bit of work for the hands, and then we'll change positions. So starting with one palm up, you're going to take the fingers of that hand and gently pull back. So you're stretching across the top of the palm of the hand and a little bit into the forearm. And then you can turn the hand the opposite direction, so fingers down, and very gently press down and in. And if you have sore fingers at all, you can, or even, this is preventative as well, but with arthritis, sometimes the joints get tight and sore. You can gently pull a little bit, so a little bit of traction, and then some little movement, little circles. And each finger you can just give a little traction, a little movement. I find this really helpful when I'm watching TV. Let's get some nice cream and just kind of work on creating some traction in each of my fingers and a little movement. I do a lot with my hands and they get sore. So when you've done the one hand, we'll switch to the other hand. So we'll take the palm up and stretch across the palm and the forearm. And then the other way. And then again, you can do a little traction and gentle rotation with each finger. So if it's painful, go very, very gently with this. But of course, with arthritis or other joint issues, it can be a little painful to move, and we still have to move to keep the joints lubricated. Right? When you've done both hands, you can give a little shake. And then we'll bring the palms together and create a little bit of fluidity with the hands, so making a kind of wave. So, any direction. Try to find fluidity in the movement. And you can even try going the other way, see if your brain will compute that. Great. And then you can take your hands, turn the palms away, press away, shoulders down, chest lifting. And if it's okay with your shoulders, slowly lift the arms. You can bend them if you need to. Find a little lift in the heart, and then slowly release the hands. Let them float down to your sides. We're going to make our way to stand, so you can get there however works for you. I'm going to move my chair towards the end of my mat, as I may use it later. It's optional to use the chair or a counter or some surface to bend towards to make it more comfortable for you. Let's start in mountain pose with the feet underneath the hips. You can bring your palms together and take a moment to reconnect with that idea of light. Whatever vision of light you were connecting with earlier, recreating that idea or that vision, that visualization. And if you don't see pictures in your mind, that's fine. You might just have the idea of light. And from here, we're going to create a kind of aura around us. So taking the hands up with that light, and then creating a big circle of light around you. You can repeat that, hands together, breathing in. If you like, you can pause as you hold that light, and then exhale as you spread it around you. And if you feel like you're straining with the breath at all, just leave out the pause at the end of the inhale. And if it feels good to hold the light with your breath, you can add that little pause at the top of your inhale. So let's add a forward bend this time. So we're going to take that light and bring it all the way down towards the legs. You can bend forward at your hips, reach down. It doesn't matter if you can reach all the way to the ground or not. I'm going to come all the way up, bringing the palms together and back to the heart. So you're inhaling as you lift. You could pause a moment. Exhale, big circle, reaching down. Imagine spreading light all the way to the earth. coming all the way up. You can pause again, holding that light above your head, and then back to the heart. Try that a couple more times, going at your own pace. On this next time, when you come to the forward bend, feel free to stay a few breaths if that feels comfortable for you. And as you stay, as we've been working on for the last few weeks, try to really let your head release. So when we let the head go, we give a message to the nervous system that we're safe, that all is well. When you're ready to come up, you can come up again with the breath in, like you're gathering that light. If it feels appropriate, pause for a moment overhead with the breath in, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Good, and then we'll release the hands down. So we'll work with a very gentle back bend. Actually, much of what we've been doing has been a bit opening and back bending. This is warrior pose. So if you have a chair and you want to use it, you can face the chair so that you can bring your hands forward to the chair. So we're going to do forward bend and back bend. You can also just do this towards the floor or towards your leg. So one foot forward, the other foot turns out. If you want to be a little more challenged today, take your feet wider apart, and that's going to give you a little more back bend when you bend the front knee. So in warrior pose, when we bend the front knee, we try to keep the body upright. So that means the shoulders go back, and we do come into a bit of a back bend, as opposed to bending the knee and letting the whole body come forward. So we want to try to maintain this position with the upper body so that we're opening the heart. So let's try first a few times, just raising the arms up, breathing in, and then lowering the arms down, breathing out. Breathing in, you can bend the arms as you lift them if that's more comfortable. Exhale and lower. Think about the heart lifting, creating some space around the upper chest. And this time, if you like, you can add a forward bend. So it could be just hands coming to the knee, could be hands to the chair, or if you're more flexible, you could reach right down toward the ground. And then we'll lift up again. So finding that expansion on the inhale and really relaxing your neck and head as you come forward. Do a few more at your own pace, breathing in light with each breath in. Each exhale, letting go of tension, holding in the body. If it's comfortable, you can stay in the forward bend. If you want a bit more stretch here, you might move your front leg a little straighter, or you can bend and straighten the front knee to ease into that hamstring stretch. So this could be done hands on the knee, hands on the chair, or again, reaching for the ground if that's available to you. When you're ready to come up, we'll lift all the way up, breathing in. And bring your hands together. Exhale, hands to the heart. Breathing in here. And releasing the arms. So you can step your feet back together. Just give everything a little shake. And maybe pause for a moment and notice how one side of your body feels compared with the other. Notice if you feel a difference after doing one side. I feel a little lopsided now. I'm looking forward to doing the other side, so you can join me with the other foot forward. The back foot turns out. And again, if you want to be more challenged, if you want to work a little harder, legs further apart. If you want it to be a little easier, feet closer to each other. So again, we'll start by bending the front knee, lifting the arms, breathing in, keeping the upper body centered over the legs, and then exhale, arms down. Go at your own pace a few more times. Press into your back heel. Feel the stretch in the back leg, expansion around the heart. If you like, you can pause for a moment after your inhale, as we've been doing. If you find that that helps you to feel more energized and doesn't create strain. As you're ready, you can add a forward bend dynamically, so coming up and then moving forward. Again, all those options, hands to the chair, counter, leg, or ground. Every time you come forward, think about releasing the back of the neck. There's nothing you need to see in front of you now as you go forward. And then if you like, you can stay if that feels good for you. You can go ahead and stay. Again, maybe moving the front leg straighter, maybe bending and straightening. But wherever you are, think about releasing the back of the neck. You don't have to drop the head completely, but you don't want to be looking forward and straining the neck. Right, when you're ready, you come all the way up, breathing in. You can bring the palms together overhead like you're gathering that light. And then hands back to the heart. Holding that light. And then releasing the hands down. You can step the feet back together. Right. Let's take the feet a little bit wider apart now. Turning the palms out. We'll take a breath in and reach up. Again, you can bring the hands together. And then exhale, come forward. Hands can come to the legs or to the ground. And then you'll reverse and lift again. Again, you could bring the hands together. Bend your arms as much as you need to make that comfortable. And then float forward. Again, you can pause after the inhale if you like. Right, next time you come upright, let's stay upright. So you'll come up. And we'll release the hands to the sides. So let's add a little bit of side bend to open up the sides of the chest and waist. You can keep your knees soft. We'll take one arm and lift it up, breathing in. And exhale, find a little bit of a side bend. Inhale, come up and switch arms. And then exhale to the other side. So as you inhale, you're switching the arms, coming to the center. Exhale, releasing to the side. If you like, you can stay for a few breaths. If that creates tension for you, keep moving. When you're staying, think about reaching up through that arm and breathing into the armpit, the side of your rib cage, the waist, the hip. Whenever you're ready, you'll switch sides. And same thing, lengthening that whole side of the body and breathing into that whole lengthened side, as if you could breathe only into one side of your body at a time. And then again, when you're ready, coming upright and releasing. Let's once more lift both arms and come forward. And do that maybe a couple more times to release after the side bend. So you can come up with an inhale, forward with an exhale. Go at your own pace. again, if you like, you can stay in that forward bend for a few breaths if that feels good for you. Letting your head release. Tuning into your breath. And in your own time, making your way upright. When you come up, you can bring the hands together over the head and then slowly release them back down in front. And then stepping your feet back underneath your hips as you're coming upright. Yeah, take your time. So if there's, if your body says, I want a little more of this or that, please feel free to explore what feels right for you. So I'm here as a guide and to make suggestions, but your body is really your teacher. So follow your own wisdom. Let's take the feet apart a little bit again, bring the hands to the hips, and we'll do some circles with the hips. Going one way and then the other. Great, and then back to the center. So the next few movements we'll do will help to strengthen the back and the legs a little bit. So I'm going to give you some options so you can make it work for you, whatever version feels like it's strengthening but not straining. So the first one is a forward bend, and I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to come into the forward bend. We're going to keep the spine nice and long, so we're not rounding in the forward bend, but thinking about almost keeping a bit of a back arch. So we come forward, and then from there, we're going to take the arms to the sides and back to the legs. Out to the sides and back to the legs. So we can try that together. So we'll come up with the breath in. You're going to bend your knees a little bit and come forward with that long spine. Make sure the back of your neck is also long. Good. And then from here, you can take the arms to the sides, breathing in, back to the thighs as you exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you want to work harder, arms overhead, breathing in, exhale, hands to the legs. Inhale, exhale. Go at your own pace a couple more times. And then if you like, you can try staying for a few breaths. Knees bent is really key here to help keep the back from rounding. So if your back is rounding, you're using different muscles. You want to keep the tail lifted. Good, hands back to the thighs. And let's release forward for a few breaths. It could be elbows on your thighs. It could be arms hanging down. If it feels good, you can sway a little bit side to side. Remember to let your head, as always, release, let go, neck, letting go of tension. When you're ready, if it feels good for you, you could roll upright. So you just let the arms dangle and you round the back a little and let your body uncurl to come to stand. Right, so we'll work the next one to strengthen the legs a little bit more. And again, the positioning of the arms is actually going to make things more or less challenging. So we're going to be doing a half squat, which is where we come to pretend we're sitting in a chair. Now you want your hips to be moving back and your chest to be lifting, as opposed to kind of being forward and rounding here. So I hope you can see the difference from this is what we don't want to this is what we want. So we've still got that arch in the back. We're sending the hips back. Hands on the thighs is easier. Arms out front is more challenging. Arms overhead is going to be most challenging. So we'll try together dynamically. So you can start with your feet under your hips, reaching up with the breath in. As you come down, you can bring the hands to the thighs the first time and just see how that feels. And then we'll repeat. So coming up, if you like, you can pause and then exhale to sit. If you want to challenge yourself a little more, instead of bringing the hands to the thighs, keep them out front. And if you still want to challenge yourself more, sit down with the arms overhead. Try to keep the chest lifting. And then you can try staying for a few breaths. So arms up, arms forward, or arms on the thighs, whatever feels most doable without strain. Keep lifting the chest. Good. And let's come all the way up. Stretching the arms up overhead and releasing. So hopefully you feel your legs and your back have woken up a little bit with that energizing work. So the next one, we are going to work a little bit with balance. So if you find that it's helpful to have a chair or a piece of the wall or a counter to support you, that may be helpful. So in this one, we're going to stretch the front of the thigh where we've just worked to strengthen. So from the side, it would look like this. So you're going to reach back. Now, not everyone's going to be able to take their foot easily. So you might take a hold of your pant leg or use a sock sort of wrapped around your ankle or a belt if you have one. And then we're going to think about drawing the heel toward the hip and moving the belly button back slightly, tailbone down, to really access a stretch in the front of the thigh. If it feels like a lot of stretch for you, move the foot a little bit away. And if you want more stretch, heel coming in and maybe even the knee lifting. So if you want more stretch, you can lift the knee behind you, but if you start to lean forward, you're actually not really doing much. So you want to keep the body upright, belly moves back, tail moves down, and you'll feel some stretch in the thigh. When you're ready, you can release. And we'll try the other side. So lifting the leg again, use a belt or a sock or whatever you've got handy if reaching for your foot feels like too much stretch. And you want to be cautious with your knee. If your knee doesn't like to fully flex, then you're going to honor that. Keep the foot a little further away. So if you can do it without holding on, great. If you need to hold on, perfectly fine. Great, you can release that leg and just give everything a little bit of a shake before we come back. So for the next one, let's take the arms behind the back and interlace the fingers. We're going to lift the chest and draw the shoulders down and back. Take a few breaths here. Right, and then releasing, turning the palms forward and up in front. And then as you go forward, we're going to turn the palms up, thumbs facing each other behind. So coming forward, lifting the palms, thumbs out, thumbs in. As you go back, lifting the arms. You can breathe in as you come forward, breathe out as you go back. And if you want to make the movement bigger, you're going to lift the arms right up in front and as high as you comfortably can behind. Right, coming all the way up this time, and we'll release the arms. So we're going to go back into that posture we just did, and I'm going to give you the option to go a little further with the pose if your body feels ready for that. So you can join me because we already know the first part. You can lift the foot. Again, think about a nice neutral spine, so we're not overarching the back to try to lift the foot, but keeping the spine neutral. Drawing the heel in. You can use your chair if you like. If you feel like you don't need the chair, you can reach the other arm out in front of you. We're going to gently press back with the foot. You can let the body tip a little forward now. And then think about drawing your back shoulder forward as you draw the forward shoulder back. And breathe here. Again, if you need your chair, use it. When you're ready to come out of the pose, see if you can come out with control by lowering the leg and raising the opposite arm, and then releasing both the arm and the leg. If you fall out of a pose, if you lose your balance, my recommendation is always come back to the pose and come out with control. Right? So you decide when the pose ends, not when the pose decides. Right? So you might fall out, and that's fine, that happens. Take a moment, come back in, find your pose, and then come out with control if possible. Well, let's try the other side. So again, you can use your support if you need it. Bringing the foot in. Again, the arm can be on the chair or wall or counter, the other arm reaching up. Or it can be reaching up. The other arm is obviously behind you holding your foot. And then you're going to gently press back with the foot, but you're going to resist forward with that shoulder. So I'm not pulling my shoulder back, I'm drawing it forward, resisting with the foot, and finding a little lift in the heart. And breathing here. Scan your body for excess tension that's not required. You don't need to clench your jaw here. And when you're ready, see if you can come out with control. Bringing the foot down, coming back to mountain pose. You just bend and straighten your knees a few times. You can shake the arms, just letting that go. We'll take the feet a little bit apart, soften the knees, and roll the shoulders. One shoulder, and then the other shoulder. Let your whole body move. Right, and when you come back to center, you can keep the feet apart or bring them closer if it's more comfortable. We'll take a breath in and reach the arms overhead. Again, you can pause and hold the breath for a second if that's comfortable for you. And then exhale. We'll again come forward, bring the hands onto your thighs. Press into your thighs and come part way up with a breath in. And then as you exhale, you might bring your elbows to your thighs or let the arms dangle down. It's whatever is comfortable for you. It could be hands to the chair or the counter as well if that's better. We'll take a few breaths here. When you're ready to come up, if it's helpful, you can bring your hands first onto your knees or come all the way up from the ground with a breath in. Again, you might gather that light overhead and bring it back to the heart. And then release. So we're going to make our way to the ground now. Just going to move that out of the way because we don't need the chair anymore. So you can make your way down onto your mat, coming onto your back. So as you come to lie down, have your knees bent, your arms comfortably on the ground beside you. Palms can face the ceiling as long as that's comfortable for your shoulders. Just take a moment to settle, to feel your body here in this space. Maybe take a few breaths where you really focus on the exhale now. The inhale can still be full and complete, but make sure your exhale is also full and complete. Feel your body soften and let go of the effort as you exhale. Then we're going to work with the bridge pose. So this is the pose where we lift the hips up, and we'll do it dynamically. So again, working a little bit to strengthen the body and to bring lots of grounding into the body and also open the chest a little bit. So here we'll start with a breath in. As you exhale, press into your feet a little bit. Feel your lower back press into the ground. And then as you inhale, lift the hips up like you're peeling the spine up off the ground. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down. You can lift as high as feels right for you, being mindful of your neck. So lifting with a breath in, lowering with an exhale. And for those of you who want to add one more element and it feels comfortable for you, after you lift with an inhale, you could hold your breath for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, never straining, and then releasing down. So we could continue to imagine that each breath is drawing in light and holding that light as long as it's comfortable, and then exhale, letting go of tension as we settle back to the ground. Do a few more at your own pace. And of course, if your body says enough at any point, you just stop, relax, and wait. If it feels like the right thing for you to stay in that pose for a few breaths, go ahead and stay. And again, if you feel like you've had enough, you can simply rest. And if you want to keep working dynamically, that's also completely fine. If you're holding the pose, find the most easeful expression of the pose, the least amount of effort. Let go of any tension that you don't need here. And then eventually you can allow your hips to sink back down if you've been staying in the pose. You might bring the knees up into your chest, give yourself a hug. Maybe move the knees forward and back a few times to release the low back and bring a little ease into the hips. If it feels good for you, you might circle the knees around. Right. And then eventually bringing the feet back to the floor. You can take the arms away from the body again, and we'll work with a twist. So you'll let the knees go one way, the head can go the opposite direction if you like, and then back to center with the knees and the nose, and then going the other way. So you can exhale as you go to the side, inhale as you come to center. Coordinating the breath is always optional. You can certainly breathe any way that's comfortable for you if you find it not comfortable to move with the breath in this way. Great, a few more if you like. If you want, you can stay for a few breaths on either side if that feels better than moving. If that feels like a great option for you, you can take that option. Whenever you feel complete with the twist. And again, if your body's like, oh, I just got here and it feels so good, listen to your body. Go with what your body wants. And whenever you feel complete with the twist, in order to bring the spine back to alignment, we'll bring the knees back into the chest. And this time you can stretch the legs up and maybe take the arms out to the sides, or if it's comfortable for your shoulders, straight up overhead, and then back into the chest. So we'll move dynamically with this. If you're coordinating breath, you'll inhale as you stretch out, exhale as you draw in, squeezing the breath out. You can do a few more if you like, or choose another movement that might feel good to you, like simply holding the legs, maybe rocking or circling the knees again. We're getting ready to take a short rest to end the class in Shavasana. So if there's any other movement that your body is thinking would be good before we come to stillness for a few minutes, you can go ahead and move in any way that would feel good to you. And when you feel complete, when you feel ready to relax, you can go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to come to sit. You can stay lying down. Just check in that you're warm enough. So if you want to add a layer of clothing or a blanket, it would be a good time to do that. And then take your time to adjust your position, little micro adjustments as necessary to feel that you can really surrender your weight to the ground and let go of holding tension in your body. And when you do come to that comfortable position, let your body be supported by the earth. Feel where your body makes contact with the earth, all those various points of contact. And as you exhale, feel yourself melt a little more into each of those points where your body meets the ground. Dropping in, letting go. Notice if there's tension around your face. Us have spent so much more time online where mostly only our face is visible. And we may have grown to have our Zoom mask on. So let your Zoom mask go now. Feel your face relax into whatever shape feels natural, comfortable. Letting go of the need to smile or to have any particular expression. Let the space of your forehead be free and open. The area around your eyes soft and relaxed. Your jaw and mouth releasing, and the weight of your head heavy on the ground. Exhale and let the weight of your head even more fully sink down and release. Feel your neck let go and your throat soften. Feel especially the back of your neck, from the base of your skull down to the back of your shoulders into the shoulder blades. Feel that whole area start to let go. As you exhale now, feel your shoulders drop down and away from your ears into the earth, and your arms start to release. Your arms, your hands, your fingers. Letting go of tension. Maybe bring your awareness to your hands and notice what's present there. What do you notice? What are you aware of? What energy is in your hands right now? And if you have a hard time feeling a part of your body as we go through the body scan, know that that's really normal. And if it feels uncomfortable, you might just wiggle or move that part of the body till you find sensation again. As you exhale, feel your rib cage heavy now. And feel that gentle rise and fall through the torso with your breath. Feel the belly lift and drop back. The lower back release. And then deeply letting go around the pelvis, the hips. Feeling the weight of your pelvis on the ground. Relaxing the muscles of your buttocks. And feeling yourself drop a little more with that softening. Letting go of your thighs. Feeling your knees drop a little. Calves and ankles releasing. Bring your awareness right down to your feet and notice any sensations present in your feet. And again, if you don't feel your feet so much, that's normal. You might just notice that as it is, or if you like, you can wiggle your feet a little to find sensation. And then if this image works for you as you breathe in, you might imagine breathing that light in that we've been working with in today's class. Breathing it into your fingers and your toes. Breathing it into the crown of your head and the base of your spine. Feeling yourself filled with light as you breathe it in. Again, if you find it challenging to connect with light today, perhaps using compassion as your theme. Filling yourself with compassion. And if you're working with light, you might imagine that light surrounds you as you breathe it in. It shines out through your skin. Creates a kind of aura or halo around you. And I'll share with you a cleansing chant that asks the light to purify all parts of us, the body, the breath, the mind, the heart, the emotions, the spirit, so that we are cleansed and purified through the light. So you can simply work with breathing in and out, feeling that light within your system and all around you as you listen. Om Annamaya Me Shuddhantan Jyotiraham Pranamaya Me Shuddhantan Jyotiraham Manomaya Me Shuddhantan Jyotiraham Vijnanamaya Me Shuddhantan Jyotiraham Anandamaya Me Shuddhantan Jyotiraham Virajavipapma Bhuya Sakasvaha. So taking a few deeper breaths now, drawing all of that light into your heart as if you could compress it into a little seed. Breathing it into the heart, calling it in from your fingers and toes, from the space around you, concentrating that light. And then gradually, as you feel ready, you can start to bring a little bit of movement into your body. Now, if you prefer to stay a little longer and be with the light in Shavasana, you're welcome to stay. If you're ready to start moving and get on with your day, you can maybe wiggle your fingers and toes and bring some feeling and life back into your extremities. Take your time to gradually move and stretch your body in any way that would feel good to you. And if you feel ready to roll onto your side and contemplate coming back upright, you can start to think about rolling over onto one side, pausing there for a moment. And then in your own time, slowly making your way back upright. And if you've come upright, you might take your hands one over the other over your heart where you've concentrated that light. You could do this in your mind if you're lying down, or even do it with your hands lying down as well. And take a moment to think of someone that you know who is needing some extra light. So it could be someone who's been working hard on the front lines. It could be someone who's feeling depressed or struggling with solitude. So anybody in your life who you think could benefit from a little extra light, holding them in your heart right now, picturing them in your mind. And if there's something concrete that you feel you could do to help them to feel that light, even a little text message or a note can really brighten someone's day. Perhaps sending flowers or something more concrete. And then you can open your arms and send that light out. Just imagine it going out to whoever might need it. You can do that a few times. So hands to the heart, connect with your own light, and then offer it out. And of course, we're always renewing that light, so it's never ending. Right? When we give it away, it actually gets stronger. So we're bringing it back in every time. Good. And then you can end with the palms together. Nice deep breath. Exhale completely. Namaste.